Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are located. Thank you all so much for joining Amtrak Vacations as today we are going to talk about what's trending for 2017, which will include our most popular destinations for the year. So first and foremost, thank you all so much again for joining us here today. It is a pleasure to be back. For those of you that have attended some of my previous presentations. Thank you all so much. And for those of you that are joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. So excited to be here. My name is Jim Marini, and I will be both your host and presenter today. And I want to mention a few things before we move into some of our most popular rail vacations this year. First and foremost, as always, at the end of today's presentation, I will be giving away a $100 Amtrak Vacations gift card to one lucky person. So stay tuned to see if you are that lucky winner. Also, I will be announcing some exclusive and exciting discounts at the end of today's presentation. If you have a pen and paper, everyone, I'd love to encourage you all to feel free to write down our 1-800 number listed right there underneath my picture, or even better, contact your local travel agent to book any of these exciting packages that I highlight here today. As always, at the end of today's presentation, I will do my very best to answer any questions you may have. So any questions, please feel free to type those away throughout today's presentation, and I will, again, answer those at the end. So without further ado, everybody, why Amtrak Vacations? And hopefully some of you have had the pleasure of traveling with us, again, through your local travel agent on some of our great rail vacations throughout the United States and even Canada. And a few years ago, we took a survey of many of our travelers and really asked them why. Why travel with Amtrak Vacations? Why did they? And one of the top reasons, and hopefully for some of you here today, it's one of your reasons as to why you're looking to travel as well. It is a bucket list experience, everyone. To be able to travel by rail, by train here in the United States and have your hotels, sightseeing tours, some of your meals all taken care of in one package, well, that's Amtrak Vacations. We do it all for you. Also, room to roam. We love the fact that you can get up, walk around. In fact, we encourage all of you to walk around, go to the observation car, the dining car, the snack car if you choose, stretch your legs. Just know that there's plenty of room to roam. Also, another popular reason is it is less hassle. As many of us know, when we arrive at airports, sometimes we have to get there a minimum of 2 to 3 hours before departure. Well, at any of the Amtrak stations throughout the United States, you can actually arrive many times 20 to 30 minutes before departure. It's a very easy process. Everything now is electronic, so e-ticketing, e-documents, and again, your local travel agent can help you with those arrangements. Also, city-to-city service. I always love mentioning this, whether it's Penn Station in New York City or even out to Glacier National Park. Location, location, location. Amtrak brings many of you and your friends and family into really the heart of the areas. As an example, Penn Station, you're within blocks of Broadway and Times Square. Glacier National Park, when the train arrives, everyone, you're approximately 204 steps away from Glacier Park Lodge. Great, great way to travel. Also, satisfy your hunger. I'm going to show everyone pictures a little later in the presentation on the seating and sleeping accommodations on board Amtrak. But one thing I want to encourage all of you right now from the beginning of today's presentation to strongly consider, and that is to consider upgrading to either a roomette or a bedroom on any overnight train journeys that you're looking to travel on. And the big reason is not only, of course, do you get your own private accommodations on board, but more importantly, everyone, you get all your meals included from one city to the next city during the overnight journey. That's a big highlight, so definitely consider that. And last but not least, flexibility. We have daily departures, and in some cases throughout some of the major cities, there's multiple departures daily, so definitely keep that in mind. So where does Amtrak travel to in the United States? You know, I always love showing this map, everyone, and certainly for those of you that have joined us previously on some of our presentations, last year alone, over 32 million people traveled on board Amtrak. Let me mention that again, everyone. Over 32 million people. If we were an airline, we would be the 5th largest airline in the United States. Interestingly enough, Amtrak actually travels to 46 out of the 48 states within the continental United States, with the exception of 2, South Dakota and Wyoming. Now, if you also look at the map, you'll see it's not only a map of the United States, but also our friendly neighbors above into Canada. And in fact, Amtrak actually crosses the border in the great cities of Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver. So on any of these packages, everyone, you have the option to also connect in through Canada and even connect in on Via Rail, which is the national train of Canada, just like Amtrak is the national train here in the United States. And a little fun trivia I wanted to share with all of you is, did you know there's actually over 500 Amtrak stations that you could start and or end your trip if you choose, or you can fly to and or from the starting and ending point on any of these exciting rail packages that I highlight here today. And certainly a local travel agent can help you with any of your flights and also help you book any of these great packages as well. Now, whether you do your entire trip on board Amtrak with Amtrak Vacations or you fly to and from the starting and ending point, once you're on board the train and have your hotels, meals, sightseeing, all in a package, the beautiful part, as you can see here, and I hope you like this picture, everyone, there's no middle seat on board Amtrak, which is great. Everybody has a great seat. 2 extra large seats on one side, 2 extra large seats on the other. So you never have to worry about being squished in the middle. Also, there's no long security lines at any of the Amtrak stations, which is why I mentioned, again, many times you can arrive 20 to 30 minutes prior to departure, okay, versus 2 to 3 hours at many of the airports. And last but not least, no need to spend your days sitting in traffic. We have a saying here at Amtrak Vacations, why not take the road less travel? That's Amtrak Vacations. So today, we're going to highlight many of our different types of products. In particular, the ones that I'm going to focus on today, which happen to be our most popular rail vacations, are our independent journeys. So if you're wondering, okay, what are independent journeys? Very easy, everyone. These are typically 5, 7, 10, up to 12 days in length. They're multi-city, multi-destinational trips, okay? Daily departure. You have flexibility to do sightseeing on your own. We have hop-on, hop-off style touring, okay? We also have family adventures, which I personally have had the pleasure of traveling on, actually the last 3 years in a row with my wife and 3 children. And these are great for your children or grandchildren, definitely multi-generational trips. We have rail and sail packages out to beautiful Alaska. We have 3, 4, and 5-day getaway trips. We also have, of course, the national parks. And no surprise, I'm sure, to many of you here today, many and most of our most popular packages are, in particular, out to the beautiful national parks of the western United States. Now, I want to encourage all of you, again, if you didn't have a chance to jot down our phone number, feel free to write that down. Give us a call. You can visit us online, or even better, you can book any of these trips through your local travel agent, who are truly some of our best partners in the world. Very knowledgeable and can help you, again, not only with the package, but also even your flight accommodations for those of you that choose to fly to and or from the starting and ending point. Okay, so let's go right into some of our most popular packages that we have that are certainly trending so extremely well for us this year. The first one that I want to start out with is one of 3 grand national parks within our series. Now, this one happens to include Yellowstone, Yosemite, and the Grand Canyon. This has been our most popular grand national parks package, okay, that includes, again, 3 national parks all in one package, as well as multiple trains throughout the package. So as you can see, it is round trip from Chicago. So for those of you that are on the call and you're wondering, okay, well, how do I get to Chicago? Again, remember, your local travel agent could absolutely help you make flight reservations as well as handle the entire package for you. So to be able to book flights round trip to and from Chicago, which is very easy, or you can travel right from your local train station to and from Chicago and then go on this amazing journey. If you take a look as well, I'll just kind of walk everyone through it. From Chicago to Salt Lake City, if you look at all the red lines and you look at the number 1 in a red triangle, everyone, that just lets you know that's an overnight journey on the train. Now, this particular train is called the California Zephyr, everyone. Now, I had the pleasure of traveling on the California Zephyr this past year, and it was spectacular. You travel right through the beautiful Rocky Mountains on your way to Salt Lake City. From there, we spent a night before heading up to Yellowstone National Park for 2 nights. Now, just so everyone knows, the train does not physically go up to Yellowstone National Park. So if you can look on the picture, you'll notice it's more of an orange color from Salt Lake City up to Yellowstone. What that means is that is on a motor coach bus. It's actually a sightseeing tour that we take about 5 to 6 hours from Salt Lake up to Yellowstone, because our feeling is you're so close to the national parks, we want to make sure to include Yellowstone as well. Again, you get to choose what lodging you'd like to stay at. From there, it's an overnight journey back on California Zephyr out to San Francisco, where then we spend 2 nights and have a day trip out to Yosemite National Park. Then from there, we travel south down into Los Angeles for 1 evening before overnighting out to Williams, Arizona, which is really known as the gateway to the Grand Canyon, where then we travel into the Grand Canyon for 1 evening before heading overnight back to Chicago. And that's on the Southwest Chief back into Chicago. This package itself, just one of our absolute most popular packages. So let me kind of walk you through it. So as I mentioned, the first city, again, we spend a night at is Salt Lake City. And then from there, it's 2 nights in Yellowstone National Park. Now, when you get to Yellowstone National Park, everyone, we will include a sightseeing tour of the lower loop. And these are great tours, everyone, conducted by local guides that you'll meet there in the area. It's a nice day of touring Yellowstone. We also give you some free time at leisure to explore the park on your own. Then from there, as I mentioned, it's out to San Francisco, where then we take a day trip to Yosemite National Park. And again, this is with the local tour guide who will give commentary throughout the tour as you are visiting Yosemite. And then from there, it's off to Los Angeles before heading out to Williams into the Grand Canyon. Now, I want to mention this because this is just absolutely spectacular. Do you know last year alone, everyone, over 5 million people visited the Grand Canyon? Over 5 million people. It's actually considered to be one of the 7 wonders of the world. And unlike some of the other national parks, Grand Canyon, everyone, goes year-round. So you can go anytime from January through December. So for those of us, including myself, that might be located in parts of the U.S. or Canada, that might be a little bit cooler during the early months of the year or months later in the year, why not consider going to the Grand Canyon, right? So this is a great package. We also include round-trip service from Williams, Arizona to the Grand Canyon on the Grand Canyon Railway. So not only do you have 3 amazing national parks, not only do you have 3 amazing train experiences from the California Zephyr to the Coast Starlight to the Southwest Chief, but you also get an additional train experience on the Grand Canyon Railway, which is the transportation we use to bring all of you from Williams into the Grand Canyon. And the nice part is, everyone, it's only about an hour and a half to 2 hours to go from Williams out to the Grand Canyon. And again, just a lot of fun. Don't be surprised if you see a little Wild West show as you travel through. Once we arrive in the Grand Canyon, as you can see on the right-hand side, we do include a motor coach freedom tour of the Grand Canyon South Rim. And again, this will be conducted by a local tour guide who will take you throughout the area as well. And I want to mention one other point too, not only with Grand Canyon, but any of these national parks packages that I'm highlighting, which again are some of our most popular packages, definitely trips of a lifetime, everyone. You also get to choose what style lodging you would like to stay at inside of the parks. And that's a big advantage, everyone. For many of you that have been to the national parks or certainly looking to travel to the national parks, it's very hard to get space inside of those lodges inside the parks. We here at Amtrak Vacations, through the help and support of our local travel agents, can help arrange those accommodations for you. In Grand Canyon, hotels such as the Maswick Lodge, El Tovar, Yavapai, just to name a few, okay? Again, you let your local travel agent know, and we will help you with those arrangements. This package itself starting from as low as $28.99, and again, that's 13 days, 12 nights, round trip from Chicago. Great, great package. So definitely keep this in mind. As you can see, lots of great sightseeing tours included throughout. Now, if we veer off outside of the national parks for a minute, here we have a package that has done extremely well for us, and we've had so many of our travelers that have absolutely enjoyed this trip. This is called our Northern Rail Experience, and interestingly enough, everyone, this was designed from all of our travelers' feedback that said, we wished you had a train trip, round trip from Chicago, where it's really more about the train. So for those of you that are interested more in the train experience versus the destination, then you would want to experience our Northern Rail Experience. As you can see, Chicago out to Seattle, that is on the Empire Builder, okay? We spend one night in Seattle, then we travel south on the Coast Starlight, Seattle down to San Francisco, where then we spend 2 nights in San Francisco, and then we travel back to Chicago, and again, that's on the California Zephyr. As I mentioned, we do spend an evening in Seattle. Of course, again, the real highlight is experiencing traveling on board the Empire Builder on our way there. Then it's from Seattle down to San Francisco, where we get a chance to have a hop-on, hop-off tour. We have a sightseeing cruise. And I do want to mention, just for a minute, everyone, whenever you see a hop-on, hop-off sightseeing tour included, as I mentioned at the beginning of today's presentation, I've had the pleasure of traveling with my wife and 3 children on trips over the last few years. And I have to say, this past year, if my wife and children were here on today's presentation, they would all mention how much they enjoyed the hop-on, hop-off tour themselves. We went to Washington, D.C. last year, and it really took us in and around the city and where we wanted to be. We didn't have to rent a car. We didn't have to get an Uber or a taxi. It was actually a double-decker bus, which most of our hop-on, hop-off tours are. They're typically double-decker bus with the top portion of the bus being open. Sometimes it's a trolley hop-on, hop-off tour. So it's a lot of fun. So definitely know that is a great highlight. But look at the price, everyone. As low as $13.99. It's less expensive to almost stay home. So give your local travel agent a call to book this trip. 9 days, 8 nights. Again, round trip from Chicago, Seattle, San Francisco. But really the highlight is Empire Builder from Chicago to Seattle, Coast Starlight, Seattle down to San Francisco, and of course the California Zephyr. Now, one little point I wanted to mention is, did you know with Amtrak Vacations you can customize any rail package to fit your vacation needs? So every package that I'm highlighting here today, just know you have that flexibility, everyone, to make it as long or as short as you want, to include as much or as little as you want, to start and or end wherever you would like. You have that flexibility to customize any of these trips. Now, moving back into the national parks, here's another package that's trending spectacular for us, and it certainly is one of our most popular packages. This is called our Rails to the Grand Canyon, everyone. And as you can see by looking at the map, it's round trip from Los Angeles. Now, this is also on the Southwest Chief, and as you can see, we travel out to Williams, and then we spend not 1 but 2 nights in the Grand Canyon inside one of the lodges of your choice. So keep this package in mind. Some fun little trivia for everyone. You know, they estimate the Grand Canyon is up to 277 miles long, up to 6,000 feet deep, and they say some of the rocks at the bottom of the Grand Canyon are actually estimated to be up to 2 billion years old, everyone. This is a spectacular trip. And remember, the Grand Canyon is a year-round national park. So you can go anytime from January through December. So definitely give us a call, contact your local travel agent to take advantage of this great package, starting as low as $649, everyone. 5 days, 4 nights, okay? So as we move on the packages, one of the points that I want to mention, whether it's this package or any of the trips that I'm highlighting here that are part of our independent journeys, okay, which are by far our most popular categories, Pricing, whenever you're overnighting on board the train, pricing is always based in coach seating, which is our main seating on board the train. However, we offer you the option to upgrade to either a roomette or a bedroom, which I highly, highly encourage all of you to consider, not only so you have that much more of an enjoyable experience having your own private accommodations, but remember, anyone who's in a sleeper, either a roomette or a bedroom, you get all your meals included during the overnight journey of the train. So for instance, on this package, which is also one of our most popular, called Peaks to Pacific, from Denver to Salt Lake City, that is traveling on the train during the day. Then from there, we travel by motor coach, as I mentioned in one of our previous packages, up to Yellowstone. But here's where you have the option to upgrade to either a roomette or a bedroom, is when we travel from Salt Lake City, everyone, out to San Francisco. There you have the red line. There you have the number 1 red triangle, which again is your option to upgrade if you choose to a roomette or a bedroom, because again, all your meals would be included from Salt Lake City to San Francisco on board the train. Now, as I mentioned, this starts in the Mile High City, otherwise known as Denver. We will have a sightseeing tour of the Colorado Rocky Mountains, and then, as I mentioned, we travel north up into Yellowstone National Park. It's actually our nation's first national park. Absolutely amazing. We will have a lower loop guided tour with a local guide as well once we arrive, as well as giving you some free time to explore the park on your own. From there, we travel out to San Francisco, again, on an overnight train trip from Salt Lake to San Francisco, where then we get to experience Yosemite. So this is a nice package, a little bit shorter, 10 days, 9 nights, starting at a great price, okay? Again, how do you get to Denver? How do you get back home from San Francisco, everyone? It is totally up to you. You can start locally at one of the many Amtrak stations. Again, there's over 500 of them, everyone, to choose from, or you can fly to the starting city and fly home from the ending city. And again, your local travel agents can help you with all those arrangements, which is just wonderful. So keep that in mind. Also, some other little fun trivia, everyone. Did you know on most long-distance trains, all meals are included in the dining car during meal times when you upgrade to a sleeping accommodation? So just a reminder what a great value that is. And I will talk more about the type of cuisine on board the train, which I have to say I've been extremely impressed with, as many of our travelers worldwide have as well. Now, we veer off again outside the national parks. How about this trip, everyone? This is trending spectacular for us. Definitely one of our most popular packages. Jazz, Blues, and Rock and Roll, everyone. I love that title. 2 nights in Chicago. Then we have an overnight train on the train called City of New Orleans. That's the name of the train, for an overnight journey down to Memphis, where we spend 2 nights, and then we travel during the day down to New Orleans for the remaining 3 nights of this package. Now, one thing I want to mention, because again, this, along with every trip that I'm mentioning here today, is one of our independent journeys. Not only do you have the option to upgrade to a roomette or a bedroom on board the train, but just a reminder, you have the option to choose what style hotel accommodation you would like to stay at in any of these great cities. So as an example, everyone, in Chicago, we use hotels such as the Holiday Inn. Great property. So for those of you that want to stay within a certain budget and you want to be at a nice property, but again, you don't need to be at the 5-star, here's a great option. Others of you may want to choose the Westin, located right on Michigan Avenue, or even better, the Palmer House Hilton Hotel, which I've had the pleasure of staying at. Absolutely spectacular hotel, more along the lines of a 5-star property, okay? Again, you have the option in any of these cities to choose between 3, 4, even up to 5-star hotels. If we walk you through this trip, everyone, it starts out in this great city, one of my personal favorite cities of Chicago. Now, if anybody here on the call is a baseball fan, as many of you may be aware, the Chicago Cubs finally won the World Series recently. So I know the city was very, very happy. But Chicago to me is very special, in particular for its cuisine. Deep dish pizza, everyone. Chicago hot dogs with the pickles on the hot dog itself. Lots of great cuisine to take advantage of. Also, some of our most famous actors and actresses of today got their start or certainly spent time in one of the world famous comedy clubs called Second City. So you have leisure time in each of these great cities to go where and when you want to different areas. I was in Toronto recently with my wife and 3 children. We ended up going to the Boston Red Sox, if you're wondering where my accent might be from. And I did that on my own, everyone. Again, you have the same flexibility to add in and go visit other sites when you have that free time or half a day or days at leisure. From there, it's then traveling overnight down to really the city of the blues, and that is Memphis. Now, when you arrive in Memphis, you will be treated for a platinum tour, which includes Graceland, home, of course, of Elvis Presley. Great city to visit, great area, and you will have 2 nights there before the remainder of the trip is in New Orleans, where we spend 3 nights. And when you get to New Orleans, we have some great activities planned for you. We'll have a battlefield cruise aboard a paddle wheel boat. You'll have a city tour of New Orleans. By the way, I talked about cuisine in Chicago. How about the cuisine in New Orleans? Even more well known, everyone, because of their style of cooking. You have definitely a strong Spanish and French influence within the cuisine, not only cuisine, but also architecture. You have jambalaya, Cajun style food. You have beignets, cafe lattes. There's a place called Cafe du Monde. Many of you, I'm sure, have heard about it. Absolutely well-known little coffee shop with these doughboys with cinnamon, sugar. I'm drooling right now as I'm talking, everyone, right? It is spectacular. So definitely keep this package in mind. And look at this, everyone. Starting as low as $12.99. And again, that includes the train from Chicago down to Memphis, Memphis to New Orleans, again, based in coach seating, includes sightseeing tours, as you can see here, your hotel accommodations of your choice. It's just, again, how you get to and from Chicago and New Orleans is totally up to you, however you decide to travel. And again, your local travel agents can help you with those arrangements. Now, if we go back to another great national parks, how about this package, everyone? Glacier National Park Express, consistently in our top 3 most popular packages in the United States, let alone in the national parks, everyone. Now this one, unlike some of the previous national parks packages that I've showed everyone, this one is not round trip from Chicago. However, it starts in Chicago and it ends in Seattle, okay? So you have a choice. Again, what hotels you'd like to stay at in Chicago where you can spend 2 nights. Then we travel overnight on board the Empire Builder. And again, keep that in mind, everyone. Upgrading to a roomette or a bedroom will get you all your meals included at no additional charge from one city to the next. So from Chicago to Glacier, if you decide to upgrade to a roomette or a bedroom, you would have dinner, breakfast, and lunch all included at no additional charge, okay? From there, we spend 3 nights in Glacier National Park. And remember, location, location, location. The Amtrak station is approximately 204 steps away from Glacier Park Lodge. It doesn't get to be a better location. From there, you then travel overnight out to Seattle for 2 nights. And then from there, you can either head back home or, as I mentioned earlier, you can customize the trip. Some of you may want to extend your trip and maybe go on a great Alaskan cruise. You might want to travel north over the border into Canada or south down along the beautiful Pacific Northwest and West Coast. You get to decide. But this trip itself, everyone, again, starting in the great city of Chicago, where we do include a sightseeing architecture cruise of the Chicago Harbor. Of course, the big highlight is Glacier National Park itself. You know, they estimate there's over 1 million acres of land. Now, one thing to keep in mind, which is very important in regards to Glacier National Park, everyone, which is also why it's one of our top 3 most popular packages in all of the United States, let alone in the national parks. The season only operates from the end of May through the beginning of September. It's a very short season, which is why space fills up fast, especially if you want to upgrade to a roomette or a bedroom. Give your local travel agent a call or give us a call. We will help you any way we can, okay? You have a 2 Medicine Valley boat cruise. We have the Big Sky Circle Tour. The majority of this park is located in the beautiful state of Montana. And then before you know it, this trip ends in Seattle, where we do include admission to the Seattle Space Needle, as you can see here, and the Chihuly Garden and Glass Museum. For those of you familiar with Seattle, of course, it is the first location of the first Starbucks back in 1971 that was ever opened. And now, of course, as we all know, they are worldwide. Also, home of some famous people such as Jimi Hendrix and Bill Gates, who grew up in the suburbs of the Seattle area. Lots to see and do here. Starting price, everyone, coming in at $22.99. Great value. 10 days, 9 nights. Again, starting in Chicago, ending in Seattle, with, of course, the highlight being 3 nights in Glacier Park Lodge inside of Glacier National Park. Did you know also Amtrak Vacations takes you from city center to city, saving saving you time and expenses while enjoying comfortable seating, beautiful landscapes, full amenities, and friendly services. So again, we truly are your one-stop shop, and any of these trips can absolutely be booked through your local travel agent. Now, if we cross the border, everyone, how about this? Amtrak, as I mentioned at the very beginning when we were showing the map, crosses the border in the great cities of Montreal, Toronto, and out west in Vancouver. So here's your option, an opportunity, everyone, to go to the beautiful Canadian Rockies. And to me, this package is so very special for many reasons. One reason is not only do you have one, you have 2 amazing train experiences from Seattle to Vancouver on board Amtrak, and then from Vancouver out to Jasper on board Via Rail, which is the national train of Canada. And you also have not 1 but 2 amazing countries in one package. You have some sightseeing and opportunity right here in the U.S. in the Pacific Northwest, and then we cross the border where you get a chance to spend time in Canada. So here is our Canadian Rockies Discovery eastbound with Seattle. So again, Seattle, great city. We'll spend an evening there. And of course, you get a chance to go sightseeing before traveling just for a short train ride from Seattle over into Vancouver. Vancouver, for me, still always one of my absolute favorite cities in the world, home of the former Winter Olympics. Of course, Vancouver, you're not too far from a great spot, which is right nearby, and that is Victoria, known for its beautiful Bouchard Gardens. And in fact, when we're there, you'll actually be treated for an afternoon tea at the Fairmont Empress. By the way, some of the hotels and lodges you get to choose from on this trip are the 3, 4, up to 5-star lodges, such as Fairmont Properties. So here's an example where we'll actually spend an afternoon and have tea and little crumpets and little delicacies, which is a beautiful treat. But of course, the real highlight, everybody, right here. I'm going to leave this picture up just for a minute because it is absolutely breathtaking. Now, Canadian Rockies is the same season as Glacier National Park, which means this trip also only operates from the end of May through the beginning of September. So if this is a package you've ever dreamed of, and to be able to travel on Amtrak as well as Via Rail throughout the beautiful Canadian Rockies, give your local travel agent a call. Look at this, everyone. Jasper, another great, iconic area throughout the Canadian Rockies. In fact, we'll have a sightseeing tour included. We'll head out to the Icefields Parkway for an excursion, including riding on board an Ice Explorer vehicle, which is a lot of fun. And then it ends in the great city of Calgary, which is just a wonderful city, where then, again, you get to decide, do I want to travel back home on Via Rail and connect with Amtrak here in the States, or do I want to fly to and or from Seattle and Calgary? And again, we and or your local travel agent can help you with those arrangements. Look at this starting from price, everyone. What a great value. 11 days, 10 nights. Yes, you will need your passports, okay, for those of you looking to go to Canada, but what a amazing trip. And the US dollar right now is definitely in our favor when you travel to Canada. As I mentioned, I just traveled recently with my family. We actually happened to go out to Toronto and Niagara Falls, but it is spectacular. And remember, again, only operates end of May through the beginning of September. So let's take a look at the onboard accommodations, everyone. If you're wondering, okay, well, what does the seating and sleeping accommodations look like? This right here, everyone, is a picture of what coach accommodations looks like on board Amtrak. And I'm just going to leave this up here for a minute. Look at the amount of legroom, everyone, that you have in coach seating. So rest assured, even when you're on board the train, lots of flexibility. Again, no middle seat. That's a great advantage. You also have plenty of room above the overhead to store your carry-on bags. There's a section in the front and back of each train car as well to store your luggage. Wireless is available and it's free throughout any of the major cities. However, as I've mentioned throughout today's presentation, any of you certainly that are looking to travel out to the beautiful national parks or maybe down from Chicago to New Orleans where there's an overnight train included, then definitely consider upgrading to one of our sleepers. Now this happens to be a roomette. Roomettes for us, just so everyone knows, are by far our most popular category of any sleeping accommodations that we have. They're also the most affordable. It's very minimal to upgrade from a coach seat, which is the picture I showed everyone previously, to a roomette. Very, very minimal, very affordable, and our most popular. Now, as you can see, it does fit 2 people inside of a room, okay? During the day, the lower bunk bed opens up and folds into 2 chairs that face each other, which is exactly what you're looking at here. A table can fold down. You can play cards, watch a movie on your iPad, read a book if you choose. You also have, of course, a nice big picture window, but it is bunk bed style, which is nice. So above the window is the top bunk, which folds down. You also have your own private attendant. There's one attendant for every sleeping car, which consists of other roomettes and bedrooms. You also get first choice as to what time you would like to dine and have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You also, as I mentioned, get all your meals included. Now, the only thing not included inside of a roomette is a toilet and shower. However, no need to worry. It's right down the hall. And the only people that have access to those toilets and showers are only people that are in roomettes or bedrooms, okay? So keep that in mind. It's a great opportunity. There's typically 3 to 4 toilets and 2 showers in every sleeping car, which consists of other roomettes and bedrooms, okay? However, you know yourselves the best. For those of you who absolutely want your own private toilet and shower inside your room, no worries. We have you covered. That is a bedroom. Now, bedrooms typically fit 2 adults and 1 small child. They are a little bit bigger than a roomette. They are obviously more expensive. They are also more limited as well. So again, depending on what interests you more, you have those options. Whatever you choose, though, everyone, rest assured you're going to enjoy the experience and certainly also enjoy meeting some of the other folks who are on board the train as part of the experience, also traveling just like yourselves to and from some of these beautiful places around the country and even over into Canada. But I want to talk about the dining just for a minute and some of the cuisine on board the train, okay? Food, everyone, is fresh, made to order on any of the overnight long-distance journeys. There's a private chef on board. As an example, for those of you, when you upgrade to a roomette or a bedroom, you get to order off the menu as well, everyone. So I'll take you kind of through my recent experience, as a matter of fact, on the California Zephyr this past year, traveling from Chicago out west through the Rocky Mountains on my way to San Francisco. Breakfast consisted of omelets, waffles, pancakes, eggs, scones, coffee, tea, orange juice. Lunchtime, I had choices of cheeseburgers, turkey clubs, salads. In the evening, they had pasta, fish, steak, chicken. Not to mention the desserts are delicious, okay? The only items not included when you're in a roomette or a bedroom when it comes to dining are just tips and gratuities for the waiter and waitress, which is at your own discretion, as well as any alcoholic beverages during meals, okay? Those would be the only additional charges. Everything else is included at no extra charge. So where can you view some of these great packages, and certainly our most popular that I just highlighted, or certainly any others, you can go right on our website, everyone, amtrakvacations.com. It's all one word, amtrakvacations.com. You click on destinations. Again, that's where you can see these exciting packages. Again, you can call us, you can visit us online, or even better, you can book these packages through your local travel agent, and they'll also take care of your flights in addition to everything else for those of you who choose to fly to and off from these great cities. So let's talk about not one but two exciting discounts available to each and every one of you. Now the first one is what we call our everyday discount. So for those of you obviously that are on today's call, if you qualify for any of these, then absolutely I encourage you to take advantage of these great discounts. Now, no two discounts are combinable, so it only is one discount per person. However, as an example, if you happen to be a AAA member, okay, and you're over the age of 62 years of age, we will give you, or certainly a local travel agent will give you the 15% discount. And any of these discounts, everyone, that are on the screen here, these apply to the rail portion of your package. So a package would consist of rail, hotel, meal, sightseeing tour. So whatever the cost of the train is, the train ticket or the rail portion, that's where you'll be able to take advantage of these great savings. Now, I mentioned I've traveled with my wife and 3 children 3 years in a row now. If you look here in the middle of the screen, everyone, look at what children have to pay. They get a 50% discount, everyone, on the rail portion. By the way, my children are ages 11, 8, and 6. So now you can see why. So for those of you that have children similar age or grandchildren, why not take advantage of that? For those of you that are military, first and foremost, thank you so much for your service. You also get a discount as well. Okay? So these are what we call an everyday discount. Again, one discount qualifies per person, and whatever one is the larger one, that's the one that will apply. But today, everyone, today as a way of us saying thank you to each and every one of you for taking the time to attend, here's our special exclusive attendee discount. So if you have a pen and paper, please feel free to write this down, and here it is, everyone, okay? Any of you that book any package with Amtrak Vacations through your local travel agent, if you upgrade to either a roomette or a bedroom, okay, onboard Amtrak, same applies with Via Rail. If any of you are interested in traveling throughout Canada or the Canadian Rockies, if any of you upgrade to a sleeping accommodation, we will take off $100 per couple, otherwise $50 per person of whatever the current rate is. And that's something we're not offering anybody else, just for each and every one of you who took the time out of your day to attend today's presentation. But the thing to keep in mind is you would need to book, give us a call or contact your local travel agent by May 24th, okay, which is just a little over 2 weeks from now, with a small deposit. Deposits are as minimal as only $100 to $250 per person, and that's to travel anytime this year in 2017. The promo code you would want to refer to when booking any of these packages, okay, or any package you customize where you upgrade to a roomette or a bedroom, that promo code, everyone, is webinar trend 0510. Again, webinar trend 0510. So you can let your local travel agent know that. You can let any of our vacation consultants know that when booking any exciting package that I highlighted, or certainly any package you want to customize. Now, this does apply to new reservations as well, so definitely keep that in mind. So again, great, exciting incentive for each and every one of you. I also want to encourage all of you to download your handout. So today we provided a handout for any of you who would like to download it, just to give you a little more details on some of these great packages that you could take advantage of. So with that in mind, everyone, first and foremost, let me just sincerely say thank you to each and every one of you. I see we have a ton of questions, which is great. We love questions. But I want to encourage all of you, as I'm reading the questions, feel free to add any additional questions that you may have. But first and foremost, let me announce today's winner. So today's winner of our $100 Amtrak Vacations gift certificate, which can be booked on any Amtrak vacation this year, on any package with us through your local travel agent. The winner of today gift certificate is Sandy Sinclair. Sandy Sinclair, congratulations. You are today's winner of our $100 Amtrak Vacations gift certificate. So with that in mind, we have a lot of questions, okay? So I encourage all of you to just stick around, okay? And feel free to ask any additional questions that you may have or any new questions, and I will do my very best to answer those. So first one we have, let's see, it is actually more of a comment. Absolutely love riding the rails. I love Amtrak Vacations. Thanks so much, Roanne. Appreciate it. What an enthusiastic presentation. Thank you very much. Okay, here we go. A question from Amanda. Do the seats lay back? Yes, great question, Amanda. Coach seats go back at a 45-degree angle. So again, even when you're in coach seating, not only do you have plenty of leg room, Amanda, you have wireless available at no additional charge throughout the major cities, but the seats, yes, do recline at a 45-degree angle. So definitely keep that in mind. So you could do this. Okay, so next question from Debbie. I already booked coach seating for an upcoming trip. After viewing this, I think I want to upgrade to a roomette. Is that still possible? And if so, how do I book this? Okay, so great question, Debbie. However, or whoever you booked that package through, if it was your local travel agent, just go back to them and just let them know you would like to upgrade to a roomette or a bedroom. And they can certainly give you the option and pricing. First off, make sure either are available, and then you get to decide if you want a roomette or a bedroom, okay? Next question from Sandy. Does the dining car take both cash and credit cards? Great question, Sandy. Yes, absolutely. I always say when you're tipping, if possible, the waitress or waiter, what I always suggest is to have, a stack of, cash with you. It could be $50 depending on the length of the trip, $50 to $100. I like to have just cash with me as tips for the waiter or waitress. That's just me personally, but you can use cash or credit card for any additional items that you may want to purchase, such as alcoholic beverages as well. So no worries at all. Thank you. Great question. Okay, moving through, let's see. Do they have footrests? Yes, absolutely. All the coach seats do have footrests, so definitely feel free to take advantage of those. They're very comfortable. Let's see here, moving through. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Yeah. Is this? Oh, great question from Debbie. Yes. Okay. And the question is this exclusive discount combinable with the other discounts? So yes, great question, Debbie. Right now we have some early booking discounts on some of our select independent journeys. In fact, today I highlighted many of them, and you can view these again online on amtrakvacations.com, or certainly your local travel agent can help you to let you know which ones have additional discounts. But yes, that $100 discount off per couple, again, $50 per person if you upgrade to a roomette or a bedroom, is combinable with any other booking discounts that we are currently offering to all of our travelers, to the general public, okay? So definitely keep that in mind. And yes, children discount, so the everyday discount that I showed everyone, those also are combinable, because again, those are on just the rail only portion of a package. And that's something that we here at Amtrak Vacations, along with Amtrak, always provides whenever you qualify for those. So thank you. Yes, absolutely. Let's see here. Moving through. This is great. Great questions, everyone. Let's see. Next question from Lindsay. Do you use boutique hotels? Great question, Lindsay. Most of our hotels, here's what I will mention to everyone, most hotels that we use are typically within a short walk from the train stations or a short cab ride. The majority of them are going to be more mainstream properties, 3, 4, up to 5-star hotels, and again, more mainstream brands such as Holiday Inn, Hilton, Westin, Marriott, Sheraton, and that is because, again, we have thousands upon thousands of travelers, ourselves going on some of these trips. And again, as I mentioned, Amtrak, over 32 million travelers this past year. So obviously we need to look at more hotels that are going to help accommodate a lot of our travelers. Okay, so anyway, thank you. Yep. Okay, moving through. These are all great questions, everyone. Do you offer any private tours? Great question. Depending on some of the cities and destinations, those can be available. Most of our touring is going to be more similar to hop-on, hop-off style, which again gives you all that flexibility to come and go as you like, to stay as long or as short as you would like. Again, more double-decker bus style touring or trolley touring throughout the cities, and in some case motor coaches in the national parks, of course. Next question from Mina. Do you offer gluten-free meals? So that's a great question, Mina. Let me just say to everyone, we have options for all of you and your friends and family looking to travel for any special dietary requests. And all you need to do is you let us know or let your local travel agent know any meal requests that you have, so we can take care of those arrangements not only on board the train but also throughout your journey in some of the hotels and lodges as well. Okay, so definitely keep that in mind. Okay, next question from Martha. Can you do a portion of a vacation, and would the pricing be different? I am considering the New Orleans trip, but live in Washington, D.C., and would like to cut out Chicago and go straight to Memphis. That is a great question, Martha. So just a reminder to everyone, any trip at all that I highlighted here today, any trip can be customized to start where and when you want and to end where and when you want. Okay, so for instance, if a package as an example might spend 2 nights in Chicago, but for those of you located in the Midwest, you don't need to spend any nights in Chicago. Well, you could just cut out 2 days and leave from Chicago, and obviously the pricing would be less expensive because you're taking out days. And the same applies if you add days, it would be more expensive. So you have options. You got lots of great flexibility. Okay. Next question, Diana, can you split payment credit card on any booking? Yes, you can. So we can set up a payment plan. Your local travel agent can help you with that as well, to pay monthly or pay a portion on your credit card and then pay a portion by check or cash, whatever is easier for you. Okay. Great questions, everyone. Wow, we got a lot of great questions. Let's see. Do you accommodate people who may need a CPAP machine when sleeping? Mina, great question. Yes, absolutely. There's outlets inside of the roomettes and bedrooms, okay, that are accessible to, of course, use throughout the journey itself. So keep that in mind. Yes. Is coffee available at any time for those who would like it? Great question, Sarah. So I could tell you firsthand, when I was just, again, recently on the California Zephyr trip from Chicago out to San Francisco, they always had a fresh pot of coffee in the sleeping car that was accessible for other folks like myself traveling in roomettes and bedrooms, and that was nice. Yes, so thank you for asking. I know I appreciated it. That's for sure. Okay, well, getting a lot of great questions, everyone. So just reading through here, okay. Next question from Natasha. Are we responsible for the cab fare to the hotel? Great question, Natasha. We do offer transfers on some of our packages, but I will tell you, most of our packages, again, our hotels are within walking distance or a short cab ride. So let me give you all an example. In Washington, D.C., as an example, we use the Phoenix Park Hotel. It's directly, well, it's actually diagonally across the street. And outside of that hotel, all the other hotels could be a walk or a short cab ride. So yes, but in some of the major cities, we do offer transportation if you would like to add that in the package. Yep, absolutely. Next question from Sarah. Do you have observation cars on all trains west of Chicago? Sarah, I'm glad you asked that question. Yes, we do. And those trains, just so everyone knows, all the long distance trains from Chicago heading west, those are called sleeper liner trains, okay? And those have observation cars because, again, If you're on Empire Builder, you're heading out to the beautiful Glacier National Park. If you're on the California Zephyr from Chicago out west, you're heading out towards the Rocky Mountains on your way to San Francisco. If you're on the Southwest Chief, you're heading from Chicago out to Albuquerque and out to Williams and the beautiful Grand Canyon. So yes, absolutely. Okay, next question from Diana. Can you pick your seats? Great question, Diana. So when you book into coach seating on board any of our packages, it's open seating. So yes, you can pick your seats. They're not assigned. It just depends on where you are booked into. Of course, if you're in a roomette or a bedroom, then of course you'll have those already confirmed ahead of time. But coach seating is open access. Okay. Next question from Joanna. We are traveling this summer on the Zephyr to Sacramento. Awesome. We start our trip going from Toledo to Chicago. It is meals included for us and the grandchildren on that part of the trip. We will be traveling coach on that part of the trip. On the Zephyr, we have bed accommodations, and I understand we will have meals with them. Absolutely, Joanna, yes. So again, just a reminder, whenever any of you are in a roomette or a bedroom, during an overnight journey, whatever meals are offered during the overnight journey, whether it's dinner and breakfast or whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever meals are offered during your journey, depending on when you depart and when you arrive, you will have all those included at no additional charge. Okay. Next question from Karen. Great question, Karen. Yes, thank you for asking this. Do you tip the room attendant and how? So I mentioned earlier to have some cash handy. I always suggest, again, depending on the length of the trip, to have, I try to estimate $3 to $5 per person per day. So yes, and again, this is discretionary. It's up to you. But yes, I do suggest to tip in cash at the end and for your room attendant, because the one I had she was just a sweetheart. She was spectacular on my just literally my last trip. I've had great room attendants every time I've traveled overnight on board, and yes, at the end I did tip them in cash. Okay, so and again, that's totally up to you how much you want to do, but yes, I would suggest that as an idea for you. Are your trips wheelchair accessible? Francis, great question. Yes, they are. We do have 1 to 2 handicap accessible rooms for all the overnight long distance trains. Those obviously fill up extremely fast. So again, you want to let your local travel agent know, or certainly, just have an idea where and when you want to go, so we can help secure that space for you. Okay. Next question from Leslie. Can meals be served in the bedroom compartment? My wife has a mobility issue, and depending on how the train is, it may be easier for her to eat in the compartment. We currently have a bedroom compartment reserved on board. Great question, Leslie. I can tell you, I actually personally have not done that myself, but I would love to do that. So here's what I would say is just feel free to ask your local travel agent or however you book the trip, and they can let you know, but I can pretty much tell you that will be no issue whatsoever. That'll probably be more of the room attendant who will help you with that because, again, they're there to help you answer any questions and just be there to make your trip that much more enjoyable. So my guess is that would be the person who would help bring those meals to you and your wife. So great question, Leslie. Let's see. Mina, do you have any vacation packages that start from New York to the Northeast Canada? Yes, yes, and yes. Again, everyone, today's focus was on our most popular rail vacations, but this is just a small portion of all of the exciting rail vacations we have throughout all of the U.S. and also all of Canada, both Western Canada and the Canadian Rockies, as well as Eastern Canada. So yes, absolutely, Mina, we can help you with that. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Are the custom lines the same as airports when going to Canada? Great question, Diana. Much shorter. That's the beautiful part, everyone, of traveling by rail. And it's interesting. We've been so fortunate. We have just seen such a tremendous amount of folks experiencing traveling with Amtrak vacations here in the United States as well as Canada, and just staying more local, in North America, and we here can help you with all of those arrangements. And again, you can book it all right through your local travel agent who, again, can take care of your flights as well. Okay, next question from Thomas. Long-term parking available at Amtrak stations. Great question, Thomas. Yes, there are, depending on the stations. What I can tell you is most of the larger stations throughout the United States always have long-term overnight parking available. Some of the smaller stations may or may not. Okay, so depending on where you're departing from, you would just probably want to just check with your local station if that's available. But most of the larger stations, they all have overnight parking available long-term. Yep. Okay, next question from Tamara. Yes, they will serve you, thank you, Tamara. Yes, they will serve you meals in your room. Our attendant took our order and brought our food to our room. Thank you so much, Tamara. So there you go. That answers that answers your question, Leslie, regarding meals being served right to your room. Like I said, I actually would love to do that myself. I find myself out and about throughout the day, most days in observation car or the dining car, but that's great. So anyway, everyone, I want to thank you all. We are exactly at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I hope you all enjoyed today's presentation as much as I enjoyed presenting. And again, everyone, if you want to take advantage of these great savings, again, give your local travel agent a call, okay? Contact us. We will help you any way we can. And certainly if you want to take advantage of the great savings, as long as you book by May 24th, which is within 2 weeks, and you upgrade to a roomette or a bedroom, we will take $100 off the price per couple. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of the week, and we look forward to seeing you, your friends, and family on board soon with Amtrak Vacations. Take care.